She's got her calculator.
Check claims. Make sure they're right.
When we get to finance, make sure you have your calculator on, okay? That's right. Get those numbers in there because it's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big one. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. I recognize that we have a quorum present with 5 of our seven members present. We do have an addition to the agenda.
Madam President, under letter F, under new business, I'd like to add item 1A, where we're going to discuss potential project and request authorization to publish notices. And on the same token, I'd like to change currently listed as number 1 to 1B. So we'll have a 1A and a 1B.
Thank you, Mr. Mann.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda as indicated. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, I entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mr. Reichmeyer. I have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have communications. Mrs. Ames, would you like to kick us off?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Addison, would you come up here, please? This is Addison Neiswinger. She is one of our students from Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy, Braintree Academy, and she is a 3rd grader. Addison, you want to tell us who you brought with you tonight?
I brought my mother, my little sister, my father, my 2 brothers, my mom's grandpa, my mom's mom, and my mom's dad.
My goodness. Well, I'm glad that you're all here tonight. And Addison, I mean, being a virtual school, you know, she does not live here in Cloverdale. So we're very, very thankful that you guys made the trip to Cloverdale. And you live in Columbus, is that correct?
Yes.
So she is one of our students that live in Columbus, Indiana. And Addison is here for a very important reason, because she got a very prestigious award. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But anytime we have students of the month and things like that, we make the students tell us all a little bit about themselves. So like, we already talked about who you brought. How about a favorite subject? Do you like favorite subject in school?
Definitely math. I love math.
That's a good answer. Considering the award is a math award. That's a good answer. Plus, I taught math years ago, so that's extra good. Okay. And so what are some of your favorite things to do outside of school?
I like reading and writing.
Reading and writing. Pretty cool. That's good. And what would you like to be when you grow up?
One of the things I'm thinking about since I got this award is a mathematician.
I think that's awesome. Okay. Keep those goals. That's good. Now, I have to put my glasses on to see what other fun things I wrote about you, okay? Because I can't read it. So anyway, we are very, very happy that you're here tonight. And again, Cloverdale Community Schools and Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy wanted to make sure. Are you reading my notes? Are you making sure that I'm saying it correctly? You don't have to have glasses on, do you? I have to have glasses to read it.
No, I love reading.
Well, don't look and see if I like miss a word or something like that. Okay. We're very excited that we were able to recognize Addison tonight. A few weeks ago, I actually received a letter in the mail, and it was from the National Math Stars about one of our students that had scored very, very high on a math assessment compared to some other Indiana students. And so I was opening it up and I went down and was like, never really personally met her until right now. That's one of the things of being a virtual school, but very, very proud. Immediately emailed her mother, who also works for Braintree. So she is one of our Braintree employees as well, and let them know of this great award. So let me tell you a little bit about this, first of all, because Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy, our Braintree Academy, is a very large virtual school. We have over 2,000 students in that school. And Addison, being a third grader in that school, in her third grade class alone, there was over 250 students. So it's a large, large school, and we're very proud of that. Addison, though, was selected as a National Math Star Award recipient. And so that is something really, really cool. The Indiana Department of Education has partnered with the National Math Stars to recognize exceptional mathematical talent across the state. And the extra special thing about this is that Madison had to score in the top 2% of all Indiana third graders in math to actually be selected for this award. So that is quite an accomplishment. Considering I looked this up today, there's about 84,000 third graders in Indiana. And so to be able to accomplish that is quite the accomplishment. This award celebrates students who show a strong talent for math and a positive attitude towards learning, as we can see, and a willingness to take on challenges. And Addison has worked very hard all throughout the year. And this award is a wonderful achievement and reflection of her efforts and dedication. So congratulations, Addison. And we do have an award for you, but I've already told you that unfortunately the award has not arrived. But if I have to personally deliver it to you in Columbus, I will do that and make sure that you get your award. All right. So if we can all congratulate Addison. She did also tell me she was quite excited because it was her first school board meeting. I said, they're very exciting. So thank you very much. Do you want to say anything to the board, or do you want to talk to the board and tell them anything? I'm not going to let you see my notes. Do you have anything? You don't have to. You don't have to say anything. But if you'd like to say something, go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. That's like me putting you on the spot, right, for it. So we're just very, very proud of you. So,
Well, Miss Addison, what an accomplishment for a young lady. And a mathematician to boot. Boy, can I think of lots of careers that are going to need mathematicians in the future. And that you've dedicated yourself to learning, and that you also love reading and writing. My goodness, the sky's the limit for you, young lady. So keep up the good work, and give special thanks to Mom and Dad for instilling those values in you. And we're very, very proud of you. Now, normally at this point in time in our meeting, we excuse you to take pictures out in the office, and then you're free to leave or return for the rest of our meeting. Our meetings are so exciting. So bring your calculator. Okay.
the younger sister's already doing math. There we go.
But I'm going to encourage her to deliver the award, because I happen to know there's a very special ice cream place in downtown Columbus that if you don't go to, and
Ice cream.
and I want you to know, I know the son of the original owner.
Oh.
He and I got to be really great friends when I had season tickets at the Indianapolis Indians, and he was the usher for my my section. And so he and his wife and I have continued a friendship over probably the last 20 years. Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Columbus is a special spot.
Now I guess I get to go to an ice
There you go. There you go. And I'll tell her she could put it on a school credit.
cream. We'll get great big Sunday.
Great big Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We are going to
Yeah.
get
Bless you
a
all.
picture. So
Safe
if you
travels.
wait just a moment, I have a couple more things I have to say to the board. So if you guys wait just a minute, and then we'll.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'm next. You ready to
Yes,
stay
you
up
are.
here?
Yes, you are next.
Well, thank you very much for one thing, being able to honor her. I know she was very excited. Her mom, again, is one of our teachers through Braintree, and so we were over at the middle school. They returned some Chromebooks for our testing just a little bit ago, and so I was talking to them about it. So they're very, very excited about this. So I have a few notes. I think next on the agenda is just highlights of the district. I just did have to jot a few things down. Have to say, I was more prepared for the National Math Star Award, because I'm so excited about that. And being summer, some of our highlights that we may have right now is just kind of a wrap up of some of the last little bits of the months of school. But at Cloverdale, we are always very successful with what we do each and every day, whether it be in our elementary, middle school, high school, or in our virtual schools. So a lot of things going on, kind of wrapping up the school year. Recently, we had all of our state assessment tests. Those scores, of course, are not in. We're hoping end of July, perhaps, but they're changing some of the cut scores on those iLearn tests. And so it may not be until September, so we will see as far as that goes. iRead, though, even though I can't talk about iRead scores because all of those are still under embargo right now, and our iRead summer window is still taking place. Right now it's until like the 26th of June. So that's when all of the summer opportunities are done. Then we will get some finalized scores going in. I can let you know that the elementary school did very well on their iRead scores, as well as our Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy did as well. We did have some summer school for our, which is required also for iRead for our Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy students. And so that's wrapping up. As I just mentioned a little bit ago, we had some Chromebooks from our testing sites that were returned just to me today, and they just keep coming in, and we house those. We had a wonderful turnout for our kindergarten roundup, also for the elementary school. And so we continue to recruit for that to get our students here at Cloverdale to be a part of our Cloverdale family and to continue in with our schools. So we're always really, really excited about that. At our middle school, as we've discussed in a lot of my activity reports, we have some changes coming to some of our classes that, again, are legislative requirements when we talk about advanced math courses. Years past, in the past couple of years, they've really focused a lot on language arts and reading and the science of reading. And so those scores across the state have improved. And so now the larger push is going to be on the math end of it. So there are some advanced level classes that students are auto-enrolled in. Based off of right now, Mrs. Mullick is dealing with using some checkpoint scores because, again, as I mentioned, we don't have iLearn back yet, but auto-enrolling those students into some advanced level math classes. And so, again, those are legislative requirements that we have to do, and we're doing that at our middle school building as well as in our Cloverdale Distance Learning Academy because, again, that may be our virtual school, but all the rules still apply to that one. It's still a public school. And so the same things we do here, we do there as well. Recently, the middle school, and I'm not sure if the elementary school has completed it yet, but they're getting ready to, doing some collaborative iLearn planning. We don't have scores back, but again, looking at those checkpoint scores and seeing what do we need to do, what do we need to change as far as disaggregating some of that data, and how can we change that going into the school year? What are some things that we need to work on in our own classrooms? At the high school, if you saw today on Facebook, Harrison Tyler did an awesome job at state finals, and so that was great. That is something to celebrate. I believe that was just this past weekend on Saturday, so that was great. I made sure and posted that. We had a very successful graduation recently, and of course, if you can't notice the sports, the mess in action over here at the high school of the new training facility that's going to be coming for the high school. So all three buildings, brick and mortar, are doing great things as well. On our virtual end, enrollment is now open. So anyone that's watching online, enrollment is open for the virtual school. Right now, again, we are adding our middle school, which is already approved by the state. We have our number for that, as well as adding 11th grade to our high school. So we continue to grow with that. I mentioned we're wrapping up some of our summer school. And of course, we had Addison win get the National Math Star Award. So great things taking place in all of our buildings. Then it doesn't just end because the students aren't here. Planning is continuing to take place. Collaborative efforts are taking place with the administration as well as the teachers and the students getting ready already for the 26-27 school year. So just a few things of wrapping up the school year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
A couple things. Just for our knowledge, if you noticed, she said that the cut scores were being determined now. In other words, the kids have taken the test, so now we're going to decide who passes and fails based upon what the kids have already done. We're not setting the standard before they take the test, which in educational terms is just ridiculous. Okay. The other thing that I learned from both Kathy and Chelsea in recent days is that these requirements for when she said auto enroll in advanced math, there's a percentage of students who are put in those classes regardless of where they are. And that's wrong. And I plan to make that known to the state board because that's just wrong. That's just wrong. They're doing, once again, in my not so humble opinion, they're doing damage to public school kids and to our distance learning academy kids. It's not fair. But thank you for everything all of you do. And I do have one question for Mr. Stoltz while I'm thinking about it. Are you going to end summer school on the 11th since we won't have internet on the 12th? Okay. Yeah, good plan.
Okay.
Good
Thank
plan.
you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to routine matters, I have a request to approve the minutes for the executive and regular sessions held on May the 11th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, the executive and regular session on May 11th.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for May 11th, both the regular and executive sessions. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Mr. Linton, approval of the claims and financial reports.
This evening, I'm requesting the board to approve claims since our last school board meeting and 2 payrolls in the amount of $3,162,581.18.
I motion to approve the claims and financial reports. I'll second it.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve the claims and financial reports as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Mrs. Stokes, did we have anyone sign up to approach the board? Okay. Moving on, we have no old business. We'll move to new business. Item 1A. Mr. Linton, would you like to discuss the potential project?
Yes, so this evening, I'm requesting the board to just take a simple verbal vote this evening to start the process on addressing some of the facility needs that we have within the school district, primarily the condition of the high school track and football fields, surrounding fencing, potential scoreboards, things like that. Everything that within that facility we want to take a good look at and determine what are the next best steps for the school district in providing quality athletic areas for our kids. And in order to be able to talk about that publicly and to begin that process, need to have that discussion publicly tonight and get approval from the board to publish the required notices.
I'll make a motion to publish the notifications.
We don't do a vote.
Okay.
We just do a.
Is there anyone that-
Is there anybody
Okay.
that opposes?
No.
No. We're all in agreement to go ahead to publish? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We all agree. Thank you. Item 1B, request approval for the 26-27 school year memorandum of understanding for our SRO.
This is the same MOU essentially that the board has agreed to since 2018. It was updated, I think, in 24, 25. But essentially just requesting the board to approve that agreement tonight, MOU.
I'll make a motion to approve the 26-27 school resource officer MOU with Cloverdale Police Department.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve the MOU for our school resource officer and the Cloverdale Police Department. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have approval of our coordinator employment agreements.
In your board packet, you'll find the 3 coordinator agreements that the school district holds with 3 of our employees. All of the agreements are the same as the prior year. We'll address salary and wage related benefits when we negotiate after we negotiate with teachers. The only exception would be to Mr. Boyette's. He had requested to have a reduced agreement of 135 days from 220 days, and the salary matches the reduced days.
I motion to approve the coordinator employment agreements.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the agreements for our coordinator employment. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval for a CHS special education instructor.
Your board packet, you'll find a request from Mr. Stoltz. He and I had met with Old National Trail, our third-party vendor for our special education programs, and due to the increased enrollments in those programs, due to the increased enrollment number of students in those programs, we've determined that there's a need for a third teacher at the high school to meet student needs. So we're requesting permission tonight to create that new position.
Make a motion to approve the CHS special education instructor.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. I have a motion and a second to approve a high school special education instructor for next year. All in favor? Oh, any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve a CHS special education instructional assistant to replace the CLASP position.
This position will be used to provide a one-on-one assistant for a student that needs a full-time assistant.
I move to approve the CHS special education instructional assistant to replace CLASP position.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the special education instructional assistant. Period. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve the disposal of CES furniture.
As so often, Mrs. Elkins has been spring cleaning or fall cleaning, summer cleaning, I guess it is, at the elementary. And she's got a list of furniture that we would like to be able to dispose of. It's no longer of any use and need board approval to be able to do that.
I motion to approve the elementary furniture to declare for disposal. I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to declare for disposal furniture from the elementary school. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve the lease agreement of the Purple Cow building with Judith Butler.
So in your board packet this evening, you have a copy of the lease agreement that Mrs. Butler, her attorney, and school attorneys worked together to come to an agreement on what I think anyone would consider a very generous lease agreement / donation to the school district to allow us to use that facility to expand some of our high school programming and provide some quality opportunities for our students at Cloverdale High School. We appreciate her generosity in that, and would just recommend the board to approve that this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement of the Purple Cow building with Judith Butler.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. I have a motion and a second to approve the lease agreement of the Purple Cow building with Mrs. Butler. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve the CCL's proposal to replace the existing concession stand and install the perimeter fencing at the small baseball diamond, otherwise known as Murphy Stadium / Little League.
So in your board packet, Mr. Wade has provided a recommendation that he had received from the CCL about both of the improvements that Mrs. Whitaker has described as very detailed. I'm sure the board's had an opportunity to review that. Clearly going to provide some needed upgrades to school facilities. We appreciate the partnership that we have with the CCYL and all they do to support our programs and provide the not only the atmosphere, but the facilities kids need to be successful. Recommend board approval.
I motion to approve the CCYL request to replace the existing concession stand and install a perimeter fencing at the small baseball diamond.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. I just want to take a moment to thank the CCYL for their volunteerism, because that's how that diamond came into being back when I was a little kid. And I do mean I was a little kid. I was probably second or third grade came in. So, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve professional leaves.
This evening, we have two professional leave requests that I would recommend the board approve tonight.
Motion to approve professional leaves.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the professional leave request as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of field trips.
This evening, we have 4 field trips for the board to approve this evening. We're requesting the board to approve this evening. The Soul Harvest trip is just, we're providing transportation on their insurance on with our buses. So it's maybe our kids,
With their
but
insurance.
yeah.
Mhm.
Make a motion to approve the field trips.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the field trips as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of facility use.
If 4 facility use requests this evening for the board to approve, each one of those requests meet the qualifications of our board policy.
I motion.
Go ahead. I move to approve the facility use request.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the facility use request as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have approval of personnel.
I request the board to approve personnel as outlined in your board.
Make a motion to approve the personnel.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve personnel as presented in your packets. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. And now we have board and superintendent comment.
I have a couple that I would make tonight. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for 12 very enjoyable years. Not to say that we didn't have our challenges along the way, but as a superintendent, I knew that the board always had my back, trusted us, the administrative team, to make the best decisions that we could. And that's not always the case in every place you work. So I do appreciate the support that this board has provided. Also appreciate the nice parting gifts. We had a really good retirement dinner the other day, and that was it was a surprise, which I don't get those very often, but I don't like them. But I like that one. My line of work, surprises usually aren't very good. The phone rings after 10 or 11. It's like, this can't be good. But anyway, I do appreciate that. That was very nice, very thoughtful. Heather's here tonight. My wife, Heather, I appreciate her coming. She said, "You've done this for 37 years. I wanted to come and make sure you didn't screw the last one up." So here we go. But I very much appreciated working here and everything you guys have for me. Thanks.
Well, I have a few things.
Can I say one other thing?
Well,
I want to welcome Dr. Stacy Mason. We've met a few times and couldn't be more happy for Cloverdale Community Schools and the selection of Stacy. I think that her and I are similar in management styles, and I think that the district is set up. The board's done a great job in the hiring process, and I do truly believe that be a very seamless transition, and that's good for the kids, good for students.
Yeah.
So Thank you.
Well, first, I want to acknowledge Megan Puckett for writing a wonderful grant. She got us over $47,500 to support the Kenoi Center. That's awesome. That's one of the larger grants that the foundation awards. So we're very happy about that and encourage her to keep up her grant writing. Of course, Addison, I made comments about that. That's pretty doggone exciting when you think about how many third graders there are in the state of Indiana. And Harrison, for those of you that don't know, he was seated 30th in the state in pole vault, and he raised it to 24th. He didn't quite get to his goal, but moving up 6 places in competition like that on a night that was really crappy weather, say that. But I also want to recognize that not only is he a stellar athlete, he's a stellar student. He was the class valedictorian, and he will be majoring in engineering at Rose-Hulman. So that young man is well on his way in anything he wants to do. Now, Mr. Linton, you thought it was all over, didn't you?
Well,
All over but the shouting.
I'd be close.
Well, for those of you in attendance, we are having a small reception. There are a cake and drinks in his office that he doesn't know about. Okay, and also a presentation from the board. Would you like to bring that out while everybody is in here? Okay. Okay.
Another surprise.
I should have known. I didn't get out early.
You know, for those of you that don't know Greg, Greg is a very humble man, and he walks his talk. His faith guides him in all that he does. But on behalf of the board, Missy and her husband have prepared that gift for you with us, and we hope you will find an appropriate place for it at your
We
house.
almost bid on that at the FFA auction.
Hey, you never know.
We bought a cake instead.
And,
Thank you.
those of you that weren't here to share the fun in our staff dinner, Greg didn't want anything formal done, but you know, we had other ideas, so we had some fun, and he got a couple of pictures that I hope will make him laugh. But I think I saved the best one. I saved the best one for last.
Yeah. That's dismissed forever. It's not how I feel.
And I would concur with Greg that we'll pat ourselves on the back without breaking our arms, but I think we did a stellar job in hiring your successor. I won't say your replacement because there are some people that can't be replaced, and Greg is one of those. This gentleman up here that we have our building named after has been a role model, a mentor, a friend, and even a pal on the golf course during his lifetime for me. And in all my years in education, Greg Linton has checked all of Mr. Johnson's boxes for me, and he's the only one that has done so. So I will challenge Stacy to grow, and that we will be saying the same things about her when she decides to leave us. But you're right, it's been a seamless transition, and will continue to do so as we go down the road. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
I'd like to thank Greg for his time here. Thank you for always answering the phone, always putting your head down and getting the work done. And even if it was a sticky issue, you always provided good leadership to the district. So definitely miss you. Excited about Stacy coming on board, but you know, I'm gonna keep your phone number. We're still gonna.
It's been my pleasure.
Yes.
we've achieved a lot of accomplished, a lot of things at Cloverdale High School in the last 12 years. And I think Greg's legacy goes beyond this room. There are things that the high school he's put together. We're very proud of them. Growing, and there's many good things, but one of them is our facts department has grown. You know, we have a space of 4 areas. We have a lot to offer our kids, especially with the new pathways and new diplomas. But we are very fortunate to find someone to continue what he would put in place. Maura Bag is here this week, and she's going to be our new facts teacher.
Awesome.
So, all those boxes that he and Kathy put into place, we talked about what we want our students to have. She has all the requisites and all the abilities to fill those roles. So we were very lucky because there's not too many facts teachers in the state. Right. So we actually did pick her up, and she said this evening, I want to welcome her. Y'all want to steal your thunder, Greg?
Hey, yesterday's news.
Welcome
Yeah,
aboard.
thank you, Penny. Yeah.
You're gonna love that space. Oh, good. Awesome. Yes, ma'am.
I'd also like to welcome Mrs. Good tonight. And Lucy. Lucy is our new second grader. The second grade, okay, second grade, Cloverdale Elementary. And she lives real near Cloverdale, and we're excited to have her start in 3rd grade. So welcome to Cloverdale, and I think we kind of got a feel of our school tonight, and we really appreciate you joining us. And Cloverdale Elementary, I'd like to also say thank you to Mr. Linton for a job well.
Welcome. And you're in the neighborhood. Very, very good. Anybody else? For the good of the order, we are stand adjourned at 7:38 p.m. And you're all welcome to join us.
Please do.
Please do. We have plenty of cake.
You had me a cake.
Made by Jane Hughie.